Joining us now live on set is Camping World CEO and host of The Fixer, Marcus Lemonis.
How are you?
Nice to see you
Nice
to have you on set.
A lot of good stuff to start the show.
Well, there's always a lot of good stuff these days with President Trump. But obviously he's touting the success of the country. Trillions of dollars investment that he's been talking about. He says America's the hottest country right now. Are we? And if so, why?
Well, we never stopped being the hottest country. Let's start with that.
Even under the previous administration?
Americans make the country great, not one person. Okay. President Trump has motivated people to be better. And I think that's the big difference. And whether it's what's happening with the Fed governor that's under question or in this situation with Intel, there are a lot of big issues out there. But what I really do love about this is it's important to note the money was committed to Intel prior to President Trump going into office. It was committed by Biden. And I give President Trump a lot of credit for figuring out how to monetize the commitment that was made. That's going to convert into equity. It's 9.9%. The country has the ability to liquidate that over time. I think the people are having a little bit of an issue with the fact that the government is getting into business. President Trump isn't saying we're going to take a stake in every single company that's out there. Intel has been a company that has struggled for many, many years. We do need chip manufacturing. NVIDIA needs chip manufacturing. So do a lot of other folks. If there's a way to monetize it and steer policy around it to get the country out of that investment, I don't know that I have a problem with it.
All right, so the flip side of that, of course, would be President Trump there calling this the American way. And a lot of traditional conservatives would say, well, hang on, this feels like and looks a lot like the federal government coming in and picking a winner or potentially a loser here, which is not typically associated with the American way. What's your response to that critique?
I think everybody needs to understand the genesis of this transaction. It isn't like he woke up one day and said, I'd like to take equity in your business. You want to do a deal? Let's do it now. Again, the money was committed under Biden. That money cannot be retracted back. He's converting it into equity. That equity will have the ability to be liquidated in the open market. I think we're going to make a little money. Do I want President Trump or anybody in the administration to make a habit of investing in American companies? No, I do not.
So what was President Biden's justification for the commitment at the time?
Well, the company was going to go out of business.
Got it. Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. And then
we need chips.
We need chips, and we can't rely on other countries to do that. I don't think it's a good reason. We shouldn't be bailing out companies all the time. Let the good ones succeed. Let the bad ones fail. I know in a general principle that's the case. There's an exception to everything.
All right, so let's turn to this. We want to get your reaction to one of the big stories that we've seen now for the better part of a week, the controversial Cracker Barrel rebrand. The president actually weighing in on this today. He wrote on Truth Social in part, quote, Cracker Barrel should go back to the old logo, admit a mistake based on customer response, he called that the ultimate poll, and manage the company better than ever before. They got $1 billion worth of free publicity if they play their cards right. That last point is vintage Trump and makes a lot of sense. We're all talking about them. The spotlight is on Cracker Barrel in a way that it has not been in my entire memory. Is this an opportunity for them if they course correct? Like, what do you think they should do here?
It's a ticking time bomb. She's got 24 hours to 48 hours max to reverse the course, because once the holiday weekend comes and people are out, next week there'll be another news cycle. She has a moment in time right now where everybody's paying attention. Can she come out and say, we made a mistake, this is what the consumer wants, and we're going to put it back? But we need you in our restaurants. And we have some other fundamental problems that we're going to work on. Our food needs to be better. Our inventory management of our country store needs to be better. So thank you for having an opinion. Now I need your support in the restaurant. And ask for the business again. Say, I was wrong, you were right. Please come back and dine with us.
But how difficult, I mean, we've seen this song and dance, we've seen this movie play out before. You look at Bud Light, for instance, right? And the customers feel like the brand, the company is being disloyal to them and to their business. And we're seeing it with this too. I mean, you look at a lot of customers are upset. How difficult is it to win back that loyalty once you've ticked off your
It's not hard if you say, I'm sorry, and you own your mistake, and you say, I was wrong, you were right. Thank you for your business. Thank you for loving this brand. Please come back and visit us again. In the case of Bud Light, and even Target to some degree, they doubled and tripled down. In this case, that apology letter or whatever it was that came out yesterday, it felt like
empty, right?
It felt like I want to acknowledge that everybody's mad at me, and we probably could have done it better, as opposed to just saying we were wrong.
Yeah, they didn't say anything, really.
That's leadership in America, is acknowledging when you're wrong.
But like the statement contradicts itself as well, because in the statement they're saying, oh, we're always going to be true to our values. However, new generation, new platforms, new, right? And so, I mean, isn't that sort of contradictory?
The challenge that nobody wants to unpack, and I'm hoping somebody does it, is what was the status of the business prior to this past week? What did the guest count look like? What was the average order? How did the stores do on a four-wall basis? How did the stock do? What's the balance sheet look like? And what was the reason she was brought in? Because truth be told, she was at Taco Bell before. She actually did a pretty good job. And so she walked into something and she's trying to fix or reverse course of the business. In her mind, or some consultant's mind, or the board's mind, is let's bring in a younger, newer customer. I don't want that. I'm a big Cracker Barrel customer. I've been going there for a long time. I just like it to be the way it is, and the food needs to be better, but I want it to be the way it is.
Like tradition, it's called Old Country Store. You don't need to really modernize. It's Old Country. That's their own
You expect
slogan.
it to look like that.
It's supposed to be. You get what you always get when you walk in anywhere in the country.
That's right.
Just very quickly on this point, it sounds like some crisis comms people might say, okay, it's been a firestorm, keep your head down, get to the long weekend, and people forget about it. You're saying that's exactly wrong.
This is the worst weekend to alienate people. People are out on the roads. They're going to stop. My other business people are in RVs. Cracker Barrel has always been popular. I've gotten more comments. I'm never going to eat a Cracker Barrel again. And I tell people, okay, take a breath.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good people that work there. It's a great place. A sign change isn't the end of the world, but literally, like, not many signs have even changed. Just say, I'm not going to do it.
Well, very quick, is this also why it's important to hire a CEO who shares the same values as a company? Because it seems to me they hired some, like New York, East Coast liberal for a company that was born out of Tennessee.
20 years ago, I started the RV business up, that Camping World business that you know today. And I had one principle that stuck with me that Lee Iacocca gave me. He said, you're not an RVer. You're a good business person, you're a great mind. Surround yourself with RVers. Let them make the decision. People that have been in the industry, that live the lifestyle every single day, so you don't step in it. Because you're going to make a decision or make an assumption that's just going to be wrong. Don't do it.
So before we go, brand new episode of your show, The Fixer, out tonight, 8 Eastern, right here on Fox Business. Quick sneak peek. Watch this.
Come on in.
Okay. The dichotomy of background and interest that the two of you have is an unbelievable pairing for business.
Wow.
Because
that means so
process and
much.
creativity rarely find themselves together. I'm fascinated by your concept. I want to know if I can make any money. So how many in a class?
It's a minimum of 12.
Great. So how much revenue is that?
So for that, oh Lord.
This matters. If you don't know your numbers, then I don't know what we're doing.
So, Marcus, you and I were talking about this on the radio earlier. You said tonight's episode is gnarly. What does that mean?
I mean, honestly, I need to pick these clips going forward. This is the most passive clip. This is one of the most intense episodes of me making television over 10 years.
Wow.
10 years. It's very electric. Every episode does not end with a pretty bow on it. This one is a classic case of that, unfortunately.
That's a pretty bold statement.
It's
the
a
best
crazy
in 10
one.
years. All right,
Coming
we're going to have to
tonight.
tune in for that. Absolutely.
Marcus.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
So much
Good
fun.
stuff.
Appreciate it.
All right, still to come on the show, we're just getting started.